Welcome back on Dynamod. Today I want to propose you a video about the review about the fax released by the Games Workshop in July 2021 about the Battletome, the Ossiarch Bonereapers. Because has been released the new edition, the Age of Sigmar 3.0 Dominio, so has been made a complete update of the fax. So this is a new group of fax that goes to substitute all the previous ones. So now we can go to see this new fax that will be the base for the next eventually upgrades of the fax themselves. So this is the base, and the next list about the fax will see an update, so that I'll not see the old ones that has been again posted, but only the new ones from the next about this fax. So now we can begin to see this fax. The first fact that we see is about Cataclysm Mortar of Necropolis, and it asks if it benefits from the Reinforced Battle Shield spell, and it say no, because the shields that are said about, it's referring about the weapon option for the Mortar card and the Cavallis Death Rider units. So it's good that it's specified so no misunderstanding can happen. The next one is about mortal wounds caused by Curse of the Year spell, and if this is negated as mortal wound, if you can roll again a dice as described within the rules test, and it's answer no, because if you save one of such mortal wounds you can roll again, but it's written in the text itself. And then we have an important fact, because it's related about how to use the command ability Endless Duty on a Mortec crawler, specifying that you can't affect the special rules of such one. So you can have only one single Cauldron of Torment and one single Cursed Steel attack per battle for each Dread Catapult. So you can't make that you can multiply such special attacks with the command ability Endless Duty. So it's quite important that it's specified. The next one specify how it works the special attack Cauldron of Torment of the Dread Catapult one, so of the Mortar Crawler, and specify that one model from the target unit is slain for each individual dice roll that is equal to or greater than the unmodified bravery characteristic of the target unit. So it specifies clearly how it works. And then we have the part about the Endless Pass War Scrolls that specify that the Endless Pass War Scrolls for the unique Endless Pass can be summoned by Ossiarch Bonereaper Wizard. It was again so, but it's specified better. And then we can see the most important fact released for the Ossiarch Bonereapers to adapt them to the new edition Dominion. And it's about the Relentless Discipline and how it works. So pay attention about this, because it's really important about the change. So again, instead of using the command points, you are going to use what are called Relentless Discipline points. Remember that you don't generate at all any command point. So it's not that you have but you can't use. You can't receive them at all. And about the generation, they work in a lot of similar ways to the command points, so that if you take the first turn, you gain 1 point. If you take the second one, you gain 2 Relentless Discipline points. Then, at the start of each battle round, after determining we will take which turn, you receive 1 Relentless Discipline point for each friendly Ossiarch Bonereapers hero that is on the battlefield, and 1 Discipline Relentless point for each friendly Liege keyword that is on the battlefield. Remember that the lieges are also heroes, so it means that a liege generates usually another one because it's a hero too. And 3 instead Relentless Discipline points if Cataclysm is the general of your army and on the battlefield itself. So pay attention about such one, because it's quite important. Moreover, at the start of each hero phase, hero, so it means your turn and your opponent one, roll a dice for each friendly Ossiarch Bonereaper unit on the battlefield, including the heroes. So it means that technically the heroes that are lieges can arrive to generate 3 Relentless Discipline points eventually, and for each 6 you receive 1 extra Relentless Discipline point, and all the Relentless Discipline points that you have remaining are lost at the end of each battle round. So it means that you can gain a lot of ones. More heroes you have, more you are certain to gain Relentless Discipline points. And about important thing about this one is that also the number of units that you have can help you, because more units you have, easier it's to generate a 6 on a die, so that you can gain another Relentless Discipline point. So it becomes really quite important to understand how you can make your army, so pay attention about this. About using the Relentless Discipline points, they work as the same as when you use the command for the command points. So about the rules of the general range, the units range of the champions and so on, they works are the same. And this is also a problem, because it means that you can't use the same of the command abilities more than once per turn, and each unit can't have been target of more than one of the command abilities, but moreover you can't repeat the command ability themselves, and it means that you have much less choose to have about these command abilities, because you can't use the ones that come for all the other things. And in addition, you can use the expert, slayer, strategist or swift battalion abilities, and instead for each battalion in your army that has any of these battalion abilities, once per battle at the start of any battle round, you can choose to receive 1 Relentless Discipline point. So at least it give you some benefit, but remember that you have a limitation about the amount, and even more if you compare to other armies, of command abilities that you can use. Anyway, you have a specific command ability that you can use, and it's Unstoppable Advance, that make that you can use this command ability in your movement phase when you pick a friendly Ossiarch Bonereaper unit to make a normal move, run or retreat, and add 3 inch to that unit move characteristic to that phase. So it means that it's really quite useful for your army, but remember that you can use this only once for each phase. And so it means that you have a bit of problem, because it works on movement phase, and so you have problems about being able to use these ones. And then we have 2 facts together, because they are related about the spell laws, and it's something that specify which one can use the lore of Mortisans, so that it specifies that they can be used by Nagash, Arcan, Mortian, and Mortisan units, including the unique units only. Anyway, those unique units would have been able to use these only if it would have had the Mortisan keyword, so anyway it will be such. Still is specified, so we take note about. And then we have a change about the spell Mortal Contract of the Lore of the Mortisan, and has been changed a sentence, the last one, that changed from you cannot pick the same unit to be affected by the spell more than once per hero phase, to you cannot pick the same unit to be the target of this spell more than once per battle. And believe me, it's okay, because this spell lasts on that unit for all the battle. So it means that it becomes really quite important to change, because otherwise you would have been able to accumulate it along the turns, so to make a lot of damage in this case about this spell. So it's now really better, because it means that once you target you can change your one, and you can't stack more of these spells together on the same unit. So believe me, anyway it's okay that has been changed, because now it's more fair. And then we have an important change about the ability, specific one of the Pettifex Elite, that it's Unstoppable Juggernaut. That change from being add 1 to the save rolls for attacks that target the Pettifex Elite units to worsen the rand characteristic of weapons that target Pacific's elite units by 1 to a minimum of null. So it's important this one because you can think that it's almost the same, but it's an increasing because it means that, for example, if it was no rand, it means that you can't make better your save. So there are a lot of difference yet here. And if you think you can save multiple wounds and so on, but worsen the rand, it means that yes, you benefit from the save, but at the same time that you can't save better in some way. So you can still gain eventually some bonuses, and remember that you can't gain more than +1 to the save, so it's important this one. So it means that you can combine in a lot of different ways with, for example, the Mystic Shield and so on, so that you can gain the bonus of the spells and at the same time make that you decrease the ability of the opponent to hurt you. So it's better than you can think. The next fact it's about the Bone Tight Nexus, and say that has been changed the voice code, so it's not anymore valid this one, and we see at the end of this video the new one that has been brought on. Then we have a fact about the Path to Glory because has been completely updated the Path to Glory, so if you want to use this one you have to use the old rules about Path to Glory, because these ones are incompatible with the new rules about Path to Glory itself. The next fact is about Cataclysm with the rule added War Master that makes that if this unit is included in an Ossiarch Bonereapers army, it is treated as a general even if it is not the model picked to be the general's army. So it means that you can use this as general for about the command ability range and so on. But remember that technically it's not the general, so you can't gain the free Relentless points that will be assigned to Cataclysm by the Relentless Discipline point discipline if it is the general, because it's not, it works as a general, but it's not the general itself. So pay attention about such distinction. The next fact it's again about Cataclysm, but about I can say print error. So it was a problem about the damage table that it suffered the wounds, and now it's specified how you have to correct. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 12, and 13 plus. The next fact it's the one that it's similar to the one about Cataclysm, so it's about giving it the title War Master. So if this unit is included in an Ossiarch Bonereapers army, it's treated as general even if it's not the general picked to be the army's general itself. It's simply a collection. Remember that you can use these about the range for the command abilities, casting and so on, so it can be quite useful. The next fact it's again about Nagash, but about Alakanash, the Staff of Power, that has changed the way that it works. In fact, now in addition, this model can attempt to cast Arcane Bolt any number of times in the same hero phase, even if another wizard has already attempted to cast the spell in that phase. You can think that it's the same as before, but now it's only Arcane Bolt. It's not anymore also Mystic Shield. So it's a really quite important change, because it means that you can damage, but you can't protect more than one unit. So it's quite a lot different. And what we have seen about Cataclysm and Nagash, also Arcane the Black gain War Master as ability. So again, if this unit is included in an Ossiarch Bonereapers army, it's treated as general even if it's not the model picked to be the army's general. So remember about the bonuses that you can gain with a model being counted as general. And then we have a change about the command ability of Cavallis Tantos, Still the Breath. Anyway, it's not a change, it's simply adding a missing part of each of the sentences so that it works until the end of that phase, each of such effects. So it's simply remembering that it doesn't work all the game or so on, and specify the timing of it working. It's simply it, and the one it's again the same as it was before. Simply it's correcting some missing part that it can be quite important. And then we have an add-in to the ability of the Cavallis the Riders Wedge. This is in the way that the same unit cannot benefit from this command ability more than once per turn. Still, as it's written in the rules about the using of the Relentless Discipline points, remember that technically you should not be able anyway to use such command ability more than once. So still okay, because even if it would be specified that you can use other command abilities of the Ossiarch Bonereapers more than once, this is specified that it works only once. So it's simply something that make for sure that you can't abuse about such command ability that it's quite worth. And then we have a fact about the Ghost Harvest with the ability Bone Harvest, and change the ability from roll a dice each time a model is slain within 3 inches of this model to roll a dice each time a model is slain within 3 inches of any model with this ability. Technically, for now, it's the only model that want to have such ability, but it can be that in the future will be added other ones that have similar ability, so it can be quite useful to think about this. So okay, and we take note. Simply for now it's a simply wording change, nothing more. And then cause the new edition about Warhammer Age of Sigmar Dominion has changed the way that you can play the Ender spells, has been changed those ones, and with this we now go to see the new Ender spells changed. And then we have Nightmare Predator, that it's an Ender spell that see as changing the way that it's summoned, so now only Ossiarch Bonereapers Wizard can do this, and it's changed the rule that before it was Soul Linked and now it's called Bonded, so now there are not any more penalties about it, and this is bonded to the, as before, the wizard that has casted summoned it. So remember that about the rest it's the same, so the abilities Perpetual Hunt and Death Incarnate are still the same, but has changed how it behaves, so it's important to understand this way. And then we had the Soul Stealer Canyon and the spells. Here has been changed a bit of things. The first, it's about the summoning that again see only Ossiarch Bonereapers Wizard able to summon it, but the most important thing is about the value of the summoning that moves from being 6 to 7 now, so it means that it's more difficult to summon eventually these Ender spells. Again has been changed the part about the Soul Linked to the Bonded new rule, and the most important thing has been changed the part about the Predatory rule. That has been changed about being able to move of 16 inch before to 8 inch now, so it's much more slow to be able to move on the battlefield, and it's something that you have to take note. Instead, about the Soul Thief and Soul Second Sight abilities, they are the same that they were before, and simply you have to remember that it's more difficult to move this on the battlefield, simply it. And then we have Bone Tight Secrets and the spells. Here has been changed about the summoning again the Ossiarch Bonereaper Wizard only, the Bonded that go to substitute the Soul Linked one, the Predatory is the same, but has been changed in this case the ability Portent of Doom, that now as that units cannot receive the Inspiring Present or Rally command while they are within 12 inch of these Ender spells. This ability has not effect on Ossiarch Bonereapers units, so since I prefer the effect before because it was more general. Still, be able to use this to prevent such important command abilities, I think that it's really quite interesting. But the main reason to use such Ender spells is still no escape. And then we had the Bone Tight Nexus. Here we have some changes that are about the rules for the faction terrain, because now has been said that it's a faction terrain feature, so it follows all the rules about the terrain feature of the general rules. But what has been changed more, it's about the setup, because it explains how you can work and finally make that you can remove one other Shanic feature to put these on the battlefield in the case that you don't have other choices. So this is quite important, and also the behavior to be more than 3 inch of the other objectives and so on. So remember that it can be quite important, this one, because it fixes some problems that before we had about being able to use such Shanic features. So it's really something to remember. So,
from Dynamod, it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again. To the next time.